Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous, with me, Bregadon. I'm going to hold off going to the Tierbade residence for right now. There's a spell that I want before I go there, and I don't have the scroll or the ability to cast it yet. And of course we need Camellia for Gwyrm's Mansion, so we're going to head towards Silken Thread Atelier. So I haven't mentioned this yet, so we have the option to fight or evade here. That's because we succeeded the stealth check. If you come across a random encounter and you fail the stealth check, you're usually thrown right into the middle of the enemy group. In the early game that's not too bad, but later on there's some really tough random encounters. If you don't have the option to buff up before that fight, you're going to be in for a bad time. So while I don't use the stealth option very often, it's not a bad idea to have at least one companion spec'd into it, so you have this option here. So we hit fight here after succeeding the stealth check. It puts you into a more advantageous position where you can buff up before the fight. So then I aggroed immediately. If we failed that stealth check, we'd be over here and be surrounded by them.
It's time to act!
We are fatigued, so we can't charge in, but we can walk slowly towards them.
Yet another obstacle.
Surrender,
I should have
or
dropped
else.
some stuff so we're not over encumbered.
Too late for apologies.
Don't hold back! Strike!
We are the light. They are the darkness.
Let's take this
You
guy down
should have
first.
run!
Well, we'll do this and then we'll have him dive bomb this guy.
I'll hit you!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Oh, we're not
The
done.
light take you.
Get that last bomb off too. What a jerk.
I'm gone.
That's alright, we're gonna rest before we enter the next location. Alright, Silken Thread Atelier. A drab and barely readable sign hangs over this cramped place with unfriendly, brusque workers. The building was always crowded with people, but none of the neighbors can recall ever coming here to have so much as a button sewn back on. For my daily assimilation... I didn't read it fast enough. The sun is not dangerous land. It will not burn your skin. It will not blind if you look at it. Love the sun. The sun is good. What do you say? Simulation training.
You're a good person. I like you.
Alright, I'll try and fix Ember's Great Pox. It looks like she has to self-medicate. Unfortunate. Now we do have
Smile. The world's not ending just yet.
Lesser Restoration to restore Woljif's strength here. Must I remove sickness? Don't know if this is a disease or a sickness. We'll try it, see what happens. Alright, so it is a disease. There's no failed check here.
We should move.
A bright future awaits us.
Don't mind me.
This war must end.
Are we in trouble
Rules
yet?
are made to be broken.
We do it my way.
So I usually say this upcoming fight is extremely difficult and there's a high likelihood that we'll get wiped
There's
out.
something
But
Ask nicely.
I always found this fight fairly easy. Or this entire area fairly easy. I don't use the stealth mechanic very often, but there are a few areas where you'll have traps beside a group of enemies. It does pay to stealth in and disarm the trap before you fight the
Follow
enemies.
If you dare.
Rely on me.
I'll take care of it. This will hurt.
Something wrong?
We'll make things right.
I should try to slumber this guy
My
instead.
tail is
I
restless.
am never wrong.
We'll position Sunshine in case he doesn't... Or he succeeds his will save.
Oh, the
So that he
waiting's
can
never
intercept.
fun.
Always be ready for the worst. Did we find trouble? No, they did.
Alright, so he succeeded.
Cover
I
me,
will do
alright?
this instead and intercept him with
Don't
everybody
hold back.
else.
You won't survive me.
I'll try and slumber the wizard. Actually, dive bomb him instead. I will try and slumber this guy. Good job.
Strike!
I don't usually count on the barbarians getting obliterated like that.
I'm off. Can't hide from me.
I was close.
I do what I must.
This is my kind of work.
I have the answer, but what is the question?
My skills are absolute.
We will win this war.
Who, me?
Together,
I'm always
we
ready.
I'm here. Where else would I be?
Trust in yourself.
A goat, a lizard, and a
Miss
human
me
enter
already?
a tavern. What'll it be, Lan? The bartender asked.
I won't let you hurt my friends.
Alright, so this guy fell asleep. We're gonna ignore him for now. If we attack him, he's gonna stand back up.
I will see to your demise.
Alright, so we have Kerbal the Sparkling Fist. He is
You
a
son of
kineticist.
run!
In fact, this is not turned on. He's a Dark Elementalist. I should say was a Dark Elementalist. Now he's dead.
This will hurt.
Yeah, I always found that fight really easy. It's not like Topaz Solutions where there's an alchemist throwing a bunch of acid bombs at you. On the nature of the divine. Can a mortal become a god? Is the very idea blasphemy. Science relies on experience, where there may be evidence presented in support. But when science encounters theology, it recoils. The term evolution has no application to the divine spark that illuminates dull matter in incomprehensible ways. The foremost example is angels, to whom we owe the existence of our virtuous mortal souls, which brings us to a paradox. The mortal soul transforms into an immortal essence. There are many such breathtaking events, which each promise a connection to the divine. Sunny's Serenray is perfect proof of this. The Starstone trial desecrated divinity, turned it into a god's exam, where any trickster with a handful of spells who can avoid some traps in a deadly maze may rise to divinity. Is the nature of divinity, then, so sacred indeed? Alright, we also got a lesser kinetic diadem, which is useless because we have no kineticists in the party, and there are no kineticist companions. This diadem increases the damage dealt by the kineticist simple energy blast by 1d6 points, and by kineticist simple physical blast by 1d6 plus 1. Composite energy blasts instead deal an additional 2d6 damage, while composite physical blasts deal an additional 2d6 plus 2 damage. And we got unbending armor. This plus 1 studded leather armor grants the wearer DR 3 except for piercing. And that's it.
I'm gone.
So another stat I don't put a lot of stock into is damage reduction. But they have added a few ways to stack damage reduction in the game. I think there's like 4 ways to stack it, so you can get pretty significant damage reduction. And one of the mythic paths does give you a ton of health. If you stack all the various damage reductions, plus one of the stacking damage reductions also provides 25% less damage taken on top of that. It can get pretty silly. Alright, dead duelists. A knight and a cultist died together here, piercing each other fatally with swords. Their remains are mangled and their weapons and armor destroyed, but something in their bags survived the conflict. You can procure some reagents for creating consumable items here. So I wonder if we have time to make it to this. We should be pushing the time limit. We made it. Alright, so hanged cultist. A corpse wearing the robe of a worshipper of Discari hangs from a signpost. It's been here for a while, but the bag on its belt remains undamaged. You can procure some reagents for creating consumable items here. Lost bag. A bag with a torn strap lies on the ground. You can procure some reagents for creating consumable items here. The Patoxian wine cellar. We made it. Alright, in that case, let us do Veil of Positive Energy. We'll rest up, of course. Should be okay. Alright, the Pataxian wine cellar. This abandoned warehouse had a bad name long before the demons attacked. Most of the locals kept their distance from the building, as rumors abounded of someone or something howling and scratching the boarded up doors from the inside. The previous owners of the warehouse are said to have left some valuable items in there, but no brave souls ever ventured inside to prove it.
You're just as dumb as you've always been. But I'm not embarrassed to be seen talking to you anymore. Actually, the opposite. I'm embarrassed I turned my back on you. Now I've got this weird ache inside.
I'm happy it hurts. That means your heart that froze from loneliness is starting to thaw.
Alright, so once again, this fight can be pretty nasty. I don't think the fight itself is very difficult, but... Oops. You can suffer some significant penalties.
It's time to act!
I will help where I can.
Don't mind me.
You're a good person. I like you.
Meditate on your mistakes.
Your company.
It might make you feel better.
So I'm actually going to utilize Darren here, because you can see here there's
The
Karen
world's
Wights.
not ending just yet.
I'll throw some undead over here.
Can we retreat already?
Try and have them tank for us.
Precision and grace.
Endure this!
I'll make short work of this.
Don't hold back!
Nice, and we took no damage. And we got Icebreaker. For all you single gals and guys out there. Whenever this +1 Cold Iron Battle Axe confirms a critical hit, all enemies within a 10-foot area suffer 3d6 cold damage. A successful DC 18 reflex save halves the damage, but you still get the damage. But you have to get a critical hit first, so... At this stage of the game, it's not that likely. But it is a really good effect.
Follow if you dare.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
And Tempest. This +1 Cold Iron Orc Double Axe deals additional 1 cold damage with one end and 1 sonic damage with the other. Very niche weapon with a very mediocre effect. Alright, well I'm gonna head back to the Defender's Heart. We'll probably run across the not so random encounter on the way. If I can get the fallen horse on the way, that'd be great. But it doesn't really matter. After the time limit is reached, you have all the time in the world to explore all the other locations. And we've already done everything that's tied to the time limit.
Did we step on their toes as well?
Alright, so here we just happen to spawn too close to him, but we just succeed that stealth check.
Stab you or zap you.
So it's
Why
not
both?
guaranteed. Oh,
Make every strike count. Strike!
good job, team. It's a bit of a hassle trying to keep all this loot, but every piece of gold matters. That's not entirely true. At some point, you'll have way too much gold. So much that you will not be able to spend it all. Doesn't mean I don't want it, though. Alright, fallen horse. The bloody carcass of a strong steed with a broken leg is covered in mangled armor. The saddlebag is intact. You can procure some reagents for creating consumable items here. Alright, to the Defender's Heart. We don't need to go back here yet. But if I try to swap out for Camellia on the overworld map, we'll run out of time anyway. I guess I could do it on top of Worm's Mansion. If I don't travel anywhere, I can't trigger that encounter, so... Alright, we talked to Ramian here. But first things first. Hello. What can I do for you? If you know who's who in the city, maybe you can tell me something about Count Arendae. I'll tell you, why not? Everyone knows a story, you see. But you could say that I'm the one who found it, in a way. The Arendaes are a very wealthy and ancient line. They hail from the outlying areas of Kenabres. That's where the Arendae family seat is, along with their ancestral lands. In the past, if Mendev was ever feuding with Sarkoris, or some clan from there was causing trouble, the Count and Countess Arendae were the ones who would defend the border with their soldiers. Their main residence was called Heaven's Edge. It still stands to this day, north of here, on the road towards Resin. But no one lives there now. Around 10 or so years ago, there's a grand celebration held at the estate. The mother and the guardian of the current Count invited the great and the good to celebrate his birthday. The entire Arendae clan was there, as well as many other nobles. And then without warning, the demon struck. Clearly, they couldn't ignore such a perfect opportunity to get down so many of Mendev's great dynasties in one fell swoop. There's even a chance that the queen herself would make an appearance, for she was related to the Count as well. Well, when no news came from this estate, a troop of inquisitors was sent to investigate. They forced open the gates and discovered a manor full of corpses. They all perished, Joran said sorrowfully. The servants, the guards, the guests, including some of Iomede's chosen clerics and paladins. The demons had unleashed a magical plague, terrifying and strange, the likes of which hadn't been seen before or since. And among all this was young Darren Arendae, the only survivor. The Count had a talent for divine magic since his youth, healing magic in particular. And that must be why he didn't die along with the rest. He couldn't explain how he survived the disease. I saw him that day, when they brought him into the city, pale and barely conscious of his surroundings. So that's the story. Since then, Heaven's Edge has stood abandoned, sealed off to the outside world. People are still afraid to go near the place. Oh, level up Camellia, she gets a Hex. And +1 Dexterity. Ability and Trickery. And... I like Battlemaster. The Shaman makes an extra attack of opportunity each round. This ability stacks with the attacks of opportunity granted by the Combat Reflexes feat. At 8th level, the Shaman gains the Weapon Specialization feat and a weapon of her choice as a bonus feat. At 16th level, the Shaman gains the Greater Weapon Focus feat as a bonus feat for the same weapon chosen for Weapon Specialization. The Shaman doesn't need to meet the prerequisites of these feats. Full strength, and I like Bark Skin. Having someone that can cast Bark Skin saves you an amulet slot, because otherwise you'll want to equip Amulets of Natural Armor in every amulet slot. But if you have this, you can put whatever you want there. It opens up your options.
I'm off.
I bet the Great Garrison is chock full of treasure. If I make it through this, I'm never going near the World Wound ever again. Look who it is. Tiefling raises a hand in greeting. Who would have thought that I'd end up in the Crusader army? Go figure. Remind me again, who are you? We're called the Tieflings. We will... I've already read that before. Did Erebeth accept you? With open arms. She knows exactly who I am and where I'm from. But she's come down with a convenient case of amnesia where I'm concerned. And who can blame her? The city's in a bad way. You don't turn down help in a situation like this, no matter what quarter it comes from. How can you help us when we attack the Great Garrison? I'll tell you straight. We're not getting involved in any fighting. Warriors we ain't, but we can scout, sneak right under the demons' noses, look for traps and hidden doors. In other words, we can smooth the path for your whole operation. And then all you have to do is go in there and bump off the demons. Nothing to it. They do come in very handy. There is a trap that prevents you from getting a very good item. Well, 2 good items. You can disarm it yourself, but if you fail, these guys have a guaranteed chance of, like they don't have to roll a check. They just disarm the trap. So you don't risk anything and you get the item guaranteed. You're Thieflings. Why aren't you with Charisma and the rest of them? Looky here. Somebody seems very well informed. You even know the name of our leader. When things started heating up, Sister Charisma betrayed us all. That's every Tiefling for himself. We're all scrambling to claim our share and get the hell out of here. We're supposed to meet in a prearranged location. Once we survive, that is. We went to the Great Garrison to get our stash. And look how that turned out. One of the gang got trapped in the rubble. So here's your answer. It's now every man for himself. That means that we're all free to do what we want. I'm going now. See you. Good luck out there. Don't go getting trapped under any rubble now. How do we manage to get tangled up in this? So they're one of the 3 groups of allies you can recruit for the Great Garrison Assault. The other 2 are, well, Ramian or Holrune. And there's a group of the Flaming Lance Knights that got burned at the Blackwing Library. So they won't be joining us this time. So if you side with Holrune and have him show up at the Defender's Heart instead of Ramian, during one of the more difficult fights in the Great Garrison, he will summon a squad of Inquisitors to help you. I find that to be a lot more efficient than Ramian's. Ramian's face is deceptively serene. It'd be easy to think that the Aasimar has been lounging around, but his rolled up sleeves and the traces of blood on his fingers reveal that he barely stopped to catch his breath before going to help the injured. Oh, it's you. Praise Desna. I said we would meet again. Remind me, who are you? I am Ramian of Edme, prior of the Temple of Desna. Or rather, I was the prior, while the temple was still standing. Now I am a humble priest, healing the defenders of this makeshift fortress to the best of my ability. You really know about the demon attack before it happened, or did you? I've already read this. Tell me about the strange rituals that were going to be performed on the Wardstone. I've read that too. What are you doing here? I'm doing what people are doing all over the city. Healing the injured, comforting the grieving, counseling the lost. Alas, the gods did not give me the ability to resurrect the dead. The Aasimar offers a sad smile. This tavern may be the city's last stronghold of resistance against the demons. Our last hope. We cannot let it slip away. How can you help us when we attack the Great Garrison? Oh, Ramian gives you a cryptic smile. You know, Desna is an unpredictable goddess. Who knows how she will come to the aid of her faithful children? I had a dream where she sang the demons a lullaby, and they fell into a deep sleep just like innocent babes. What do you think, my dream augurs? I have to go. If there's anything else you can do to save Kenabres, please do it. So these Desna initiates will follow us into the Great Garrison and put some of the encounters to sleep, making them much easier. But the encounters that they do that on aren't nearly as difficult as the encounter that Hullrun's Inquisitors help you on, so mechanically, siding with Hullrun is the optimal choice. The goddess teaches us to never lose hope. I can't believe the Inquisitors left us alone. The dreams are true after all. If only the Crusade leaders had believed us. Oh shoot. I should go back to the Market Square if I can.
I'm gone.
If I don't make it, it's not the end of the world, but I could level up real quick. I can level up now, actually. If I go talk to Irbeth. Let's try and make it to the Market Square.
We should move.
Yet another obstacle.
I must rest.
We do it
Just
my
making our way through.
Another day.
Alright. We can't make it to the Market Square yet. But we have to go back there later anyway, so it's not
This will be quick.
that inconvenient.
Distract them for me. Can't you just die already?
You've crossed the wrong Mongol.
You won't stop us.
No glory without risk!
Out of my sight!
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Alright,
Follow if
I'm gonna
you
call it
dare.
here, and next time we'll speak to the Messenger and return to the Defender's Heart, because we don't have a choice. So I'm gonna call it here for now. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.